Hey, it's Ray here, and have you ever wanted to have your logo be able to be animated like that at the touch of a button? Or maybe have access to it inside of Photoshop when you're designing something by simply hitting one keystroke? Well, today I'm going to show you how you can take your logo and turn it into a font so that all you have to do is hit one key on your keyboard and you'll have access to a high-resolution version of your logo for any purpose. So let's take a look at how that works right now. Okay, so to turn your logo into a font that you can use in a word processor or in a program like Final Cut Pro where you can make it 3D animated, you're going to start off in a program like Photoshop. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up the logo. Now right here, I've got what's called a PNG version of that. Now PNG is kind of a graphical representation of your logo as opposed to an Illustrator file or an EPS or an SVG, which is a vector version of your logo. If you can have the .ai, the .eps, or the .svg, you're going to be able to do this a lot easier and a lot cleaner. But if you only have a graphical representation like a PNG, you can still do this. It's just going to be a little different. Now you'll notice here in this logo is what I like to call a silhouette logo. And what that means is the actual logo is either solid or invisible. That's it. You've got the letters and you got the maze here that are solid. So for instance, a good example of this would be the Apple logo is a silhouette of an apple. But the Ford logo is not, because the Ford logo is an oval with the word Ford scrolled inside the logo. So in order to use the Ford logo for something like this, you'd have to make a simpler version such as an oval and then have the scribbled Ford letters cut out of it so that that would be the see-through part. Otherwise, when you do this, you're just going to get a solid oval and it's not going to say Ford on it. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. But what we're going to do here is we're going to start off by coming over to this layer here, which is our logo. And on the box where you can see the logo here, I'm going to hit Command or Control on a Windows machine and click on it, and you're going to see you get the marching ants around our logo here, okay? So now that this is outlined, what we're going to do is we're going to get down to paths. Now, if you don't see paths open, you can go to Window and go down to paths and turn it on, okay? And inside paths, you're going to do this fourth button right here, and what this means is this is going to take the outlines that you've created here and it's going to make an actual path out of it. So if we click on this, you'll now see that we've got a path around this. Now, this may or may not be done very cleanly. You may want to go in and clean this up if you do this. So for instance, if we were to scroll in here, you'll see like it has a little bit of trouble on the B here. It's a little bit off. So you can actually make adjustments. For this case here, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it as it is because I actually do have a vector version of this anyway. So what we would want to do now is once you have your outlines, you're going to go to File, you're going to go to Export, and you're going to go Paths to Illustrator, okay? Hit OK, and you're going to save this somewhere. So in this case, I'm just going to save this to the desktop, and you can see it's going to save this as a .ai file. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so I'm going to hit Save on that, and now I'll be able to open that up in Illustrator. Now again, I've already got a vector version of this that I'm going to open in Illustrator, so let's jump over there. Okay, so now I have my logo opened here and it is in vector format. So you can see if I hover over anything, it makes the blue line around it, which is the path. So once you have your vector logo in here, which you might have pulled from Photoshop or you could have it already, what we're going to do is we're going to go to File and we're going to Export, Export As. And in this case here, what we're going to choose is we're going to choose SVG. Okay, and so I'm going to save this again. I'll just put this on the desktop for now, just like so. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to another program that's actually a web-based program that you can actually turn this into your font. Okay, so now we are in a program called Glypter at glypter.com. And what this does is this turns SVGs into the actual characters or glyphs that you would use when typing. So what we're going to do is in the A spot here, I'm going to grab our new SVG that we just created. I'm going to bring it over and I'm going to drop it onto the A character here. Okay, and so now you'll see it has this Impossible Escape logo right in there. Now, if we save this as it is, this will be the only letter that's in our actual fonts is a capital letter A. You can fill this with a bunch of different logos if, for instance, you do a lot of things, or if you got multiple versions of your logo, or for fun, you can use any of these to kind of create some fonts that you want to add to this as well. So if we wanted to add this light bulb, we could drop that in. And if we wanted a speech bubble, okay. And all of these could be used not only with this particular program, but with anything that we want. So we could just create all that we want here. And this can just be a nice way to be able to do that. Like, for instance, it's an escape room, so a key would be good. But you can put any and all of these in here. And it would just be nice and useful as a custom keyboard for you. And that way you're not wasting an entire keyboard with just one thing in it. So you might as well put some fun things into there that you might use otherwise. And then once you have everything in there that you want, and again, you can do it on all of these here. You can look at other ones, so you can see there's the Apple logo, which would be perfect for that. A bell would be good. Arrows are always useful. Okay, and once you have everything that you want in there, you can save this out. Now we're going to give this font a title. I'm going to call it Impossible Escape. Okay, and then we're going to download the font. Now right here, you can sign up and download, or you can just download it. You can see there it goes. And now we'll be able to use it inside of any of the programs that we'd like to use it in. Okay, so now we're back in Photoshop just to show you how this will work. So if we were to create a new text layer here and click on here, and you can see we're going to type in Impossible. And there it is. There's our new font. Okay. And we're going to hit Shift A, and there is our logo. Now, why this is important is because normally when you bring in a logo, especially if it's this small, if you blow this up, it's going to look really, really bad. But because this is now a vector inside there as a glyph in a font, I can blow this up as big as I want, and it's going to be 100% crisp and clean and ready to go. And so that's the real beauty of this one here. And of course, if you want to see any of the other fonts that we have, or the other glyphs that we have, we can hit Shift B, and you can see there's our light bulb that we created, etc. And it's all in super high resolution, ready to use. Now, inside a program like Final Cut Pro, what we're going to do is we're going to use that to create a 3D version of the logo. So what I'm going to do, and I know this is off screen here, so you can't see this part, I'm actually going to grab some 3D text. So there is an actual layer specifically for creating 3D text. And I'm going to bring that in here, just like so. Okay, and you can see it says Custom 3D there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to open it up over here. And I'm going to change the font here, so I'm just going to type in Impossible, and you can kind of see it down here. Of course, it's got all the weird characters that we created in it. We're going to click on that there, and you can see there's the weird characters that make up Custom 3D, and we're going to change this to just a Shift A, and that's going to give us our logo here. Now, the great thing about this is now it is a vector, and we can blow it up nice and big if we want to, and we'll move that down towards the middle a little bit here. And it's already in a 3D format, so if we come in here and we mess with this, you can see it's actually a 3D graphic at this point in time, which is really cool. And so now we can come in and we can go down here and we could change to a brushed metal of some kind. Okay, so now it looks like this here. And again, if we were to adjust some of the 3D aspects of it here, see how it changes in the color there, which is really cool. And so now we've got this great 3D logo in here that we could use for animation. And if you want to learn more about animation, we'll have some videos on that. I don't want to take things too far in this one video, but that's how you can turn your logo into something that you can have right at the touch of a key in any program that you use with text, including an animation program, a video editing program, and a document creating program. Well, what did you think? Not bad, right? It is super easy to be able to take your logo, turn it into a high-resolution glyph that you can use at any time in almost any program. And if you design things in Photoshop, if you do things inside of programs like Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere, you'll be able to use it to animate, to create graphics, and anything else that you want super easy. So I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, be sure to let us know in the comments down below. And of course, be sure to like and subscribe so that you can get all the videos that we create as we create them. Until next time, I'm Ray the Video Guy. Have a great week.